name is Dr. Jill Young, and I am following up on a previous video regarding references. This time we will be talking about in-text citations. And they're really like two peas in a pod. They're like, you gotta have milk with cookies or peanut butter and chocolate. You gotta have in-text citations and references. They're two pieces of a puzzle, and one isn't complete without the other. It's very important. So, we'll talk a little bit about those today. What are in-text citations? Well, in-text citation is it's basically placed within or immediately after any material that you've gotten from an external source. So if you're summarizing or you're paraphrasing, for example, some material from another source written by someone else, you need to make sure that you provide an in-text citation right after that material in your own paper or assignment, so that you're giving that person or that organization or whoever credit for the material that you just placed, that you just used in your own work. The reason for that is you don't want to present those as your own ideas if they're someone else's. It's very serious when it comes to academic integrity. It's very important to make sure that you do give credit where credit is due. So, I think let's just clarify something here. I just talked about summarizing and paraphrasing. Again, let's say you are looking at a journal article and there's a paragraph that you feel is very relevant to what you're writing about, and you pretty much want to keep the idea intact, but you cannot. You could take it and put quotes around it, and cite it that way, or you could take it and make it into your own words and cite it that way. Or you could just summarize some main ideas if it's a whole lot of material and you certainly couldn't, paraphrase it all, and, it would be just overwhelming. You could summarize if there's a main idea in there. That's summary. So there's taking direct quotes from a material, there's paraphrasing, and there's summarizing. So you could do either one. You can do one of three things, but they all have to be cited in the text. So let's give you, I made an example. So let's talk about summarizing. So according to Young, females tend to adopt more transformational leadership style in organizations that are primary female. So that's an idea. It's like a theory or whatever, and it's not really something that was taken as a direct quote. It's not an idea that needed to have the words changed around. It was basically this was a paper written by, it was my paper actually, but it was summarized. Basically the idea, one of the main ideas of the paper, or the conclusion, was that the females tend to adopt more transformational leadership style in organizations that are primarily female. This wasn't a quote that was listed in there. It was based on some of the conclusions that came from the research, and it was kind of like, well, this is kind of what we're getting from that. So there was not a page number there because it's not on a certain page. It's just like, okay, based on this evidence, and this evidence, this is a conclusion that I'm coming up with, a summary of that. So, it's kind of, it's not really a paraphrased or quoted. It's not paraphrased or quoted material. Now, paraphrasing. Okay, so here we go. When conducting survey research, you cannot probe further to get more information. Okay, so this here was written basically the ideas here were written in the source, but the author of this took it, changed it around, made it into their own words, so it doesn't read exactly the same, but it's still the same idea. And it was on a page, so the page number was listed. So when you're paraphrasing, list a page number. If you're summarizing, you don't have to. If you're quoting, you must. And you must put quotation marks around the material. So, in-text citations with no author or no date. You will run into this. I know that a lot of students are confused about how to deal with this in the text. So if you have no author, And if you have no date, then you use the title, and use the title, and you use the like the first couple of words in it. So, and then you use no date for no end dot D period, the same way you use it in a reference listing for your if there's no year. So, here's an example. I have no author. This is a example of an online lecture. If there's no author listed, and this is not the South University online list. This is just another. If there's an online lecture. There's no author listed, and the only thing you got is a title, and you don't have a year. Then you would write the title, and there's no date. Let's say you. The second one is the Purdue Online Writing Lab. Well, let's say you are going to the OWL, that's what they call the Purdue Online Writing Lab, and you're getting some information from there. Okay, well, you don't have an actual author listed, but the Purdue Online Writing Lab, all of their articles are written by the Purdue Online Writing Lab. So that's actually their author and then the year. So basically what you do is, first, you're looking for an author. Is it a name of a person? Is it an organization? Is it a government website? Who wrote the article? Who owns the article? Who wrote it? List them. If you cannot find that information, list the title. But don't list the title in, you know, if it's a real long title, use the first couple, like 2 or 3 words, and put those in parentheses. So, quotation marks. So what you do is you'd write, let's say, I looked up an article online and there's no author, but it is like a news article or something like that. So you would use parentheses, quotation marks, the first 3 or 4 words of the title, if it's real long. If it's not real long, you obviously use the whole title. Then you'd do the quotation marks again, comma, the year. If there's no year, it would be N.D period, parentheses. So, I hope that kind of clarifies it. It gets a little confusing. Good resource for this issue is the Purdue OWL, I think, is a great resource for that. It gives you some information about how to do that. Okay, so what we have here, this is just the reference of the lecture, and so just some final words on in-text citations. I just want to reiterate the importance of them. They're very important. I don't know how I'm going to, if you're writing a paper, I don't know what part of your writing has been sourced if there are no in-text citations. In other words, you can list a bunch of references after the fact, but I don't know which parts you got from here or there. I don't know how to direct that, and I don't know, and it's very difficult for the reader if they have to go through your reference list to find the information they want to find, because there's no notation within the text telling me, oh, so you got this paragraph, you got information for this paragraph of your work from this site, from this location, and so on. So just a reiteration of the importance of how they go hand in hand. They're very, it's like they're 2 pieces of a puzzle, and you really cannot have one without the other. And they're both important to maintain academic integrity. So just make sure that you do place in-text citations in your text and list your references. Again, I am always here to help you if you have any questions, about any type of citation material. Also, there are plenty of resources in your course that should be able to help you with those. So I really appreciate you viewing this video tutorial parts 1 and 2, and I wish you the best of luck, and just hang in there, because you will become an expert in APA format while you're here at South University. Thank you.